Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Based on the success of last week's video, everyone seemed to like my morning mission to the Moonraker site in Kent. So I've got another morning to myself today, being Father's Day, and today we're attempting to see 10 London landmarks. So I'm again on the M25 on a pretty grey and miserable day. Going to be coming into London on the A2, so the east side of London, and try and see if we can see, or at least drive near, 10 London landmarks in the morning. So the landmarks, just off the top of my head, if I can remember them, we're going to hopefully try and see are the Millennium Dome, the Tower of London, Tower Bridge, some of the city skyscrapers, so like Mobile Phone Building, the Gherkin, etc., St Paul's Cathedral, the London Eye, and then go over Westminster Bridge hopefully and see Houses of Parliament, Westminster Abbey, and then over to Trafalgar Square if we can get near there, then Buckingham Palace, then Marble Arch, and then Regents Park. I think we'll finish up in Regents Park before heading out the west side of London on the Westway to then join the M25 and come back to where I live. As a footnote to this video, I'm hoping to, if the weather brightens up a bit and if the timing's right, is to kind of drive through Adam C, if you've heard of Adam C. Adam C's rolling car show that he's been doing during this sort of lockdown phase, where he's going to be sat on a roundabout filming interesting cars going past. So we'll pop round that way. It's near Dorking, which isn't too far from where I live, on the way back. And even if we don't get on the on his video or get filmed, at least there'll be some other interesting cars hopefully driving around, and hopefully we'll be able to steal a few shots of those as we drive home. So yeah, as I said, I'm on the M25 now. The car's misting up because I don't have the air conditioning on. I better put that on. And we'll be heading into East London very soon, so join me there. Just whilst we're driving along here, I thought I'd give a quick update on my other two cars. So as you know, I've got my MGB GT and my Lotus Esprit Series 2, in addition to my XK8, which I'm in now. The MGB is kind of had some servicing sort of work done to it, as you would have seen in my other videos, and I've not been able to drive it since I broke off a grease nipple on the front suspension, which I've got the spare parts for now. It's just finding the time to fit it. And I actually fancy doing a trip like this in the MG soon, to do like another little drive in it, as it's not been driven properly for a little while. And the Lotus, I had actually hoped to do a bit of filming on the Lotus this weekend, but I'm waiting for some storage boxes, some sort of heavy duty storage boxes, so when I start to strip it down for its full restoration, if you haven't seen that car yet, then I'll put a sort of card up with a link to a video sort of saying what it's sort of condition it's in. It's pretty horrible. But yeah, so I've going to get some storage boxes and also start renting some self-storage, I think, to put the boxes in once I've started filling them up with parts. But the Lotus is going to be a bit of a slow burn anyway, just because of my lack of space, time and money to actually progress it. But yeah, I'm hoping to bring something out relatively soon, just to give a bit of an update on where we are with that. Anyway, we should continue the journey to the Millennium Dome. Okay, so got our first glimpse of the Millennium Dome. Hopefully you can see that out of the front camera. Hopefully we'll go around the corner in a second and get a better view. I don't know whether I should get a bit nearer to it and park up. Kind of got a lot to see today, and I don't think the Millennium Dome is that interesting apart from just the size of it, I guess, and being close to it you won't get the sense of how big it is. But yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see that out of the front facing camera now. A load of yellow pylons. Whoa, that's good driving. Nice one. Well, hopefully you can see it there, just a big load of yellow pylons just looming over the entrance to the Blackwall Tunnel. And we love a tunnel on this channel, so I don't want to break any speed limits, because that's one of the dangers of city driving. There seem to be cameras and limits all over the place. Yeah, oh, looks like a pretty good tunnel as well. That's a shame. does sound pretty loud in here. Oh, Jesus. Too loud. I think that was worth it just for the tunnel, actually. That was good. Right, next thing to look for is the city. So head this way. So what I've done now, probably incorrectly, is because I crossed over the Thames onto the north side. I wanted to get back over to the south side of the Thames so I can approach Tower Bridge from the south, so we can get to see the Tower of London and stuff, and then onto other landmarks. So I'm in the Rotherhithe Tunnel now. I've never been in Rotherhithe Tunnel. It feels like I'm going like along a tube track or something, and all the tiles are like a tube station, which is pretty odd. And the limit is 20 miles an hour, which is very well. I mean, it's a narrow tunnel, so I can see why it's 20 miles an hour. But trying to drive 20 miles an hour is actually pretty tricky in a car like this. I find you're feel like you're going too slow, and any sort of prod of the accelerator, it wants to get up to at least sort of 30, which is more normal speeds. Anyway, slow crawl through this tunnel, and hopefully we'll be approaching Tower Bridge very soon. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is fuel consumption. So on the sort of motorway part of the trip into London, I got up to 34 miles per gallon in this car, which I think is maybe even my record fuel consumption, which is really good for a 4.2 litre V8. You know, I mean, if you can maintain that on the motorway, that's really good fuel economy, and actually on par with a car I used to have, which was a CLK, the original sort of CLK shape, a 2.3 supercharged car, and that was around similar economy actually. So you know, half the displacement pretty much, and horsepower is around 200. So to get that from this car is really good, but it'll be interesting to see how much it plummets as we do a bit of city driving. So I'll give an update sort of throughout and see how we get on, but I'm expecting sort of in the teens really for this car. We'll see. Well, hopefully you're seeing this. See the Shard out the front there now, because we're approaching Tower Bridge, and it's not too far on the sort of south side of the Thames for the Shard. And this being a railway track, presumably these arches here. Hopefully just to the right now it's just Tower Bridge, but I might be completely wrong. Oh, and there it is. Tower Bridge, obviously not to be confused with London Bridge, which is a more dreary looking thing by London Bridge Station, where droves of commuters trudge along each day into the city. I was one of those commuters once upon a time. And then Tower of London over there on the left. So that's kind of a 2-for-1 landmark, this one, the Tower Bridge and the Tower of London. And what we want to do is go around to the left and head into the city and see a few of the bigger and interesting buildings there. Okay, so just pulled over by the mobile phone building, so my car's just there, parked, probably in the wrong place. But you can see this pretty crazy building that bends over at the top, pretty mad. But yeah, let's keep going around here and see if we can find the gherkin. Right, this is where it's going to be tricky if we're not allowed to drive down these different places Monday to Friday, street premises. I have no idea if I'm allowed down here. Well, there's the gherkin anyway. We're going to get a ticket if I stop. Well. Right, so that was fun, trying to park near some interesting looking skyscrapers in the city. So we did the mobile phone building and the gherkin, and that's just around the corner from the Lloyd's building actually, which looks like it's inside out. So now we're going to try and make our way over to St Paul's Cathedral. I don't think I'm going to be able to park there, but we'll be able to drive past it at least. And there's actually a little bit of an Easter egg if we can find it. There's a filming location from one of the Bond films, so Skyfall. I don't know if you remember the film. Oh, this road's closed. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh crap. Right, I don't know where we're going. I was too busy talking, and now I think I'm on the right road though actually now. Everything was suddenly road closed and I thought I was going to be blocking traffic. Yeah, anyway, on the way to St Paul's, actually behind St Paul's Cathedral, there's like an underground car park, and in Skyfall, when the original MI6 building or whatever, MI5 building, whatever it's called, gets blown up, they move to like an underground bunker. Right, which way is it? Straight on? Okay. They move to an underground bunker, and the entrance is this car park, and that's actually just behind St Paul's Cathedral, I think. So, God, all the roads have changed because they're doing all this work while there's all the lockdown stuff happening. It's making it very difficult to know where to go. Actually, there's another diversion here. So it'd help if I knew where I was going, but I think we've just driven past St Paul's, so I had to do a bit of a loop around, and it should be there to the left in all its glory. There we go, wonderful. Smithfield meat market now, and this is that car park from the Skyfall James Bond film, where they go down to the new MI6 headquarters down there. Obviously all the underground stuff isn't down there, it's just a car park, but yeah, it's interesting. This is just kind of behind St Paul's, between St Paul's and places further north, and quite a famous market actually, this one, selling meat and stuff. Not on our landmark tour, but of note, I guess. So we'll continue now to the London Eye, I think, is the next one on the list. It's probably worth noting that I don't have my phone holder again, so I haven't got any sort of sat-nav to tell me where to go for these landmarks. And I've not programmed it into the Jaguar sat-nav because of the roads changing and stuff. I'm just using it as a bit of a reference to where I'm going. It's not working particularly well at the moment. I'm kind of guessing where I need to go, but at least I'm getting to explore London a bit more thoroughly than if I was just using SatNav. But yeah, London Eye is next. I'm just making my way over to cross the river again. I'll turn on the front-facing camera. So heading sort of south now from Old Bailey, I guess, around that sort of area. To go straight across. Oh, I don't know if I'm in the right lane now. I think so. Go straight across the river and then head westwards along the bank until we get to the London Eye. Okay, so we're on the south bank of the Thames now, just heading westward towards the London Eye. I did just catch a glimpse of it behind those buildings ahead of us, so I'm not sure how we get there. There's a lot of sort of one-way streets and stuff in London, same as any city really, and unless you know a place really well, it's actually quite difficult to navigate around cities like this, old cities anyway, because you're always going to be faced with either one-way streets or dead ends or restrictions on which way you can turn and that kind of stuff. And unless you know where you're going, it makes it very tricky indeed. Right, okay, let's see if we can navigate this roundabout. What I don't want to do is inadvertently cross back over the Thames again, because I have to cross back over to get to the London Eye, but being quite close to the river now, it's only one turn away from being on a bridge. I need to go down there, I think. Damn. Well, we're doing stuff in the wrong order now. So instead of London Eye, we've got Houses of Parliament coming up in front of us. I've ended up on the bridge like I didn't want to. Unfortunately, the tower, which houses Big Ben, the bell inside, is covered up with scaffolding. So we're just driving over Westminster Bridge. I can see the London Eye where I wanted to end up over there, so I'm going to have to turn around and get back over there. But yeah, magnificent building, the Houses of Parliament. And I don't know if anybody else is a Prisoner fan. I mean, if you've seen my road trip to North Wales, you would have seen that I'm quite into the Prisoner. And in the opening sequence, actually, he's driving his Lotus 7 around the back of these buildings, and again another sort of underground car park where he races his car down the ramp and hands in his resignation. I'm not spoiling anything, by the way, because that's the opening credits. It's in every episode. Yeah, marvellous really. Amazing sort of history in London. Let's see if we can do a bit of a go around the block or something and go back over to see the London Eye. Okay, so we're heading over Westminster Bridge for the second time now. Let's hope that people don't plough into us as we cross over. Very good. I'm not sure if my GoPro is wide angle enough to see the London Eye over there. Probably not. Probably just get to see that big building there, which I think might have like a few attractions inside actually. I forget what the name of that building is now. I'm pretty sure there's like a Namco arcade in there and stuff. Right, let's try not to miss the turning this time. There we go. Yeah, there we are. London Eye. Job done. Right, we're on the move again after a quick stop at the London Eye. We're going to hop back over the Westminster Bridge. Because the whole place is kind of covered in scaffolding at the moment, I don't know if it's worth sort of trying to get parked up there at all, and there's quite a lot of police presence as well, so probably just drive over Westminster Bridge and past Westminster Abbey, and make our way to Trafalgar Square. Now I don't know if you can actually drive around Trafalgar Square, around the outside of it, or if it kind of gets shut down for various things, like protests and other such like that kind of seems to be happening at the moment. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. So I've got to make my way back over to that bridge, and yeah, you'll join me hopefully near Trafalgar Square. As we drive back over Westminster Bridge, wanted to give an MPG update. So as you remember, it kind of was around 34 when I came into London. That's gone down to 27.3 now. So you know, a medium sort of drop there. Hasn't dropped right off yet, but we've kind of kept moving. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh, I'm in the wrong lane there. So here we are then. I think this is Trafalgar Square, which is pretty cool actually. I didn't think it was going to be open. I had to go around the long way, and the road was closed from Westminster to here. So I don't know. We'll see if we can do like a lap of it. I mean, I'm afraid my history is lacking. Obviously, we've got Nelson's Column, but I don't really know too much about the other sort of statues around here. And obviously, we've got the is it National Portrait Gallery or something like that over there. No idea. We should yeah, drive around, and hopefully I'll be able to pick up on camera what it looks like. So that's kind of like the just to show Trafalgar Square, and I think now, if I'm allowed to, we're going to drive down the Mall towards Buckingham Palace, so that'll be pretty epic. I mean, it doesn't say that we're not allowed in there. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff which is either being constructed or whatever, so they've got some roadwork type things up, but it doesn't say no entry unless I'm being blind. Make sure we don't hit any cyclists. So it looks like we can't go down the full length of the Mall, but you can see in the distance there Buckingham Palace. So I think what we'll have to do is kind of go around the outside of this park, and then meet up with Buckingham Palace further down the Mall. Again, not really on our list of landmarks, but here's Horse Guards Parade, where they do the trooping of the colour. I mean, as far as mornings go, this has been pretty good. I mean, the weather's not outstanding, but it's awesome driving this, you know, British car around London. I think it's great, especially on a Sunday morning as well. There seems to be hardly any traffic around. Kind of got free rein to sort of take our time going past these sites. I'm not sure if we're even allowed to turn up here. Oh well. There we go, Buckingham Palace. And the road is closed, so I can't go down there. Oh well. You might see it behind me. Over there, Buckingham Palace, and the police van. Right then, next I think it was Marble Arch and Hyde Park Corner. In fact, I think I might even be going the wrong way here. Dang. Piccadilly. I don't want to go to Piccadilly. Do I? Well, here's another London landmark, I guess. It's the Ritz. But I didn't want to come this way. Oops. Oh. Alright, how am I going to do this then? So, we are at Piccadilly Circus, completely unintentionally, but another London landmark, I guess. And I think we want to go up here to Regent Street to get back onto Oxford Street and then back over towards Marble Arch, which was on my original list of London landmarks. Okay, well, I'm not sure if that was worth it or not, but there's Marble Arch. So we've had to do a bit of a wiggly route parallel to Oxford Street because you can't actually get onto it, or I couldn't get onto it anyway. So now we're facing southwards, kind of looking over towards Park Lane, I think it is, when we get onto that in a minute. But we want to go up to Regents Park, so we're going to have to do a bit of a loop around and start going northwards again. So here we are in Regents Park then. There's not really a lot to see being in the car, but it is significant in a couple of ways. One's kind of more personal to me, but the general reason why I came here is, again, I'm a Bond fan. In the books, the Secret Service headquarters is located around the edge of Regents Park, and I really like the Bond books and stuff, so it's good to sort of visit locations and things. And the other reason is that I used to live in Islington, so me and my wife used to run over here on our sort of jogging route through Camden and through Camden Lock, do a lap of the park and then go back again. So it's nice to sort of have a stroll down memory lane every now and again. And the other sort of bonus reason is to look at some of these amazing properties that are dotted around the edge of the park. So these ones on my right now were built not that long ago, and they look like they're older, but huge, like, mansion type houses for the mega rich, and it's just wonderful to sort of have a look at how the other half live. But yeah, so we're just going to do a lap of the park, and then what I reckon I'll do is I'll get on the west way out of London to get back out of London onto the M25. Let's see if I can go out this way, follow these cyclists, and then head over or head down to where Adam C's doing his rolling car show near Dorking. So we'll see how we get on there. I probably won't film too much of the journey because it's just going to be motorway driving, and it's going to be fairly dreary. So yeah, we'll probably pick this up as we approach Dorking, hopefully in time for Adam C's rolling car show. Okay, so we're just on the west way on the way out of London now, and I thought I'd quickly share that fuel economy update. So it dipped down to 24.5 mpg, which I don't think is that as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be maybe high teens, low 20s after driving around London and being lost and stuff. But I suppose it's kind of offset by the decent run on the M25 we had beforehand. So obviously getting up to 34 miles per gallon for quite a lot of miles has probably skewed that to be a bit higher. But it must be said that when you're not really using the throttle that much, just sort of pootling around town, the XK8 doesn't use that much fuel. So it's people sort of worry about how much it costs to run these things in terms of petrol costs, but it's not so much the petrol costs that really concern me. It's more the running costs in terms of maintenance that will add up over time. Okay, so a quick update on our trip home. The traffic was fine on the motorway, it was all good. I actually got back to Reigate, which is near to where I live, quite early, so just after 11 o'clock. So thought I'd quickly run a quick errand in Reigate before heading back to Dorking to see this rolling car show that Adam C is putting on. So I'm on the way to Dorking now. It is 5 to 12-ish, so it's still slightly early, I suppose, but hopefully we'll see something good. Can't stay long because obviously it's a morning mission, not to sort of hang around all day. So a couple of laps of the roundabouts where he's filming and then home, I think. Let's see what we can see. I think this is the roundabout. This is the Denby's roundabout. Let's see what's going on. There's quite a few people, car spotters. Oh, excellent. So it seems like there's quite a lot going on here. That orange car looks fairly cool, I suppose. What is it? We'll just do a couple of laps. Like I said, I don't think we'll actually get on the video. There's a lot of serious looking metal coming down. But it's interesting to see what's actually driving past. So all sorts of lowered stuff. Excellent. Ready for another lap around this roundabout. It's amazing how many people he's got following him about, actually. So I think it was worth sort of popping down there to see what was going on. We were quite early on in what he was doing, so I don't think a lot of people had turned up then. In fact, when we were just driving past then, there was a few cars on the road into Dorking, so there's bound to be more people turning up now than when I was there. But yeah, I mean, it's quite a cool idea. I think it's, even if Adam C's videos aren't really your thing, I think what he's doing is quite a good idea, that we still get to see a few cars out and about without having to, risk being too close to people at a normal sort of organised car show. Even though I think some events are starting to happen now. So yeah, I mean, that's the end of the video. It is just about 12:10 now. I would have been home much longer ago if I hadn't gone and done that sort of couple of roundabout loops for the rolling car show there. So definitely you can see some landmarks in London in the morning if you get up early enough, and perhaps do it on a Sunday when there's not as much traffic. I mean, I was really surprised at how quiet it was in certain parts. The city was pretty much deserted. So just to wrap things up then, let's do a few stats. So we travelled about 130 miles on our round trip. We averaged 26.5 mpg, which I think is alright. It's not amazingly good. I mean, I think what was pretty good was the ride on the M25 in, like 34 miles per gallon. Definitely the highest I've got this car. I mean, you probably could get it a bit higher if you're really gentle with the throttle, but I'm too much of a fan of enjoying the car rather than sort of nursing it along, trying to hypermile. So yeah, 26.5 there. Average speed 31, which isn't great either, but city driving is going to do that to your average speed. And as I said, it's about 12:10, and I set off about 7:10, so a good 5 hours worth of activity there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said in my previous one, I like getting out in my cars. I like to do this kind of thing. I want to try and do an MG morning mission or a longer trip in it fairly soon once I've got all the servicing done. So tell me if you like this video and this style video. I want to make more, but I won't do it if people hate it. And until the next time, I will see you later. Bye bye.